that brings us back over to why are we actually going to talk about real pinball? We never talk about real pinball. Or at least we rarely talk about real pinball. But
Really.
my lord, when I saw that Guns N' Roses tables, my jaw hit the floor.
Yep.
I
It was
mean,
incredible.
it's
Yeah.
it is unbelievable. So there's a couple of interesting things that are going on here too with it. So Jersey Jack, not only do they have that insanely expensive collector's edition, which you can't buy because if you didn't buy it already, you can't buy it now.
Yeah.
But they also wound up making their least expensive version ever, which is coming in just under $7,000. It has a lot missing from it.
Mm.
There's no doubt
Which
about
is
it.
not normal. Not normal with Jersey Jack. Because normally the differences in a lot of cases between the what they refer to as like a pro model, there's usually not a lot of stuff missing. It's normally just little extras and bling basically in the
But you're
cabinet.
missing, and we'll kind of highlight some of this. But things you're missing. You're missing the two different guitar headstocks. You're missing on the pop bumpers. The pop bumpers are essentially the drum kit, and they've got cymbals and stuff on them. Those are gone. Um, you're missing a lot of the lighting.
Mm.
And but what they are saying is it plays really nice and fast. So that's a good thing there. But
That's a big price difference between 11.5 and 7.9 or whatever it was. Like, that's a lot of change that you could probably go the pro model and then go and buy a secondhand pinball and get two, you know,
right,
pinballs, pretty decent ones for that price.
right.
So yeah.
So it is interesting. The thing that stood out the most to me was, yeah, this thing will never be coming to digital.
Mm-mm.
Not only because of the sheer processing power I think it would take with the insane amount of lights. I think just the that regular base model has over 300 lights. The next one up has something like 450, and the collector's edition has something like 650 lights on it. I mean, it's an insane amount of lighting.
I think they'd actually have a whole separate board or distributed boards just for the lights alone in
Yeah,
this model.
and that's not
It
to
is
mention
just
the
great.
video package that they have accompanying this. And then the sound package with full cut songs. So there's where you're starting to get into insane licensing territory. Is I think
These
it
are masters.
yeah,
These are cut from the master recordings.
and I can't remember how many songs exactly it is. I want to say it's like 13 or 14. So you've got that, but then it's also featuring Gibson, Fender, Marshall. Uh, who's the drumstick? I don't. There's some major
Sabian,
sponsors on this thing.
yeah. Well, Pearl, I think is the other one.
Yeah. So I mean,
Like it's just it's basically like roller games on steroids as far as the licensing problems go
oh my
with
god.
brands.
I mean, can you
Um,
imagine trying to hammer that deal out? Just
man,
you couldn't have a Kickstarter. But there's why the table cost 12,500 for the collector's edition.
absolutely. That's because they're normally about 10, aren't they?
That's what I
Like I think
thought
they're normally
previously. Yeah.
about 10 and a half. So an extra 2 grand on top for the licensing, and that's per unit. So you imagine how much this deal costs. But the thing is that they don't have to worry about it because
Yeah.
it's sold out.
Yeah.
So at least they're not having to risk it there, and that just shows you how strong the industry is at the moment, eh?
I also found it interesting that it's shipping in family mode, but they didn't edit any of the songs. So if you play in family mode, I think you only get 7 songs.
Yeah, right.
If you want,
So,
if you want the rest of the songs, you got to kick it into adult mode.
and there's going to be profanity.
Oh yeah, well it was funny because I was watching this video that was an interview with the designers of the table, and the guy
Mm.
was talking about how he had this. I think it was like 700 lines of script that he needed one of the band members to talk for callouts, and they were doing the adult version, and he was talking about how the guy was like, "Hey, I don't want to read these. Can you just, give me a line reading and I'll say it back?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he starts getting to some of these call outs, and he's like, "I don't want to read this out loud for the guy to say it back to me." It was like one of them was like, "Quit pulling your pud and do something else," and it was just kind of funny.
Wow. Fair enough.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one on location. That one. I mean, it'll be okay in bars and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you won't see this one in a family entertainment center.
No.
Anything other than family mode.
So the part that blew me away though most was the light show. So we're going to show you a little bit of this because I mean, if you don't want to seek it out, we're going to do you the favor of not making you seek it out. But it is rather incredible. So I've got a little video to play you. We're going to have it muted at first because I don't want the video pulled.
We don't want to get DMCA'd.
Yeah, because it's got it's
live
or Let Die from Guns N' Roses playing. So we can play a little bit of the music, and I'll play it where it kicks in for the light show. But I want you to pay attention to just the beginning, because there's a lot of close-up shots of some of the features of the table. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to here. Not those. We don't want that anymore. What we want to see is this. Hey, look at that. All right. I'm going to get my cursor there. Here we go. So you can see the drumsticks there. Little axle. Look at that headstock right there with it. That's the bass. So 4 strings going on there. Again, the drumsticks. You'll see the little check out. Okay, that's the DMD board. But then there's the concert area that you can see with the moving light. Look at that. It's insane, right? So let me put on a little music so you can hear what's going on. I mean, look at that.
It's just
nuts.
Going nuts. Look at that. It's like it's strobe lights.
Can you imagine playing that in?
Look at this! Like, it's just fantastic.
I know with the lights going up. I forget what they call the hot lights or something like that.
Incredible.
Can you imagine playing that in a dark room?
Oh, it would be so good with the sound up, or in the case of Jersey Jack, with your headphones plugged in.
Well, no, but here's the other thing.
That.
And again, I think this is with the collector's edition only. They put an amplified speaker in the topper. It is an insane sound system that is on this thing. I mean, I think it's something that is, if you turned it up properly in an arcade, that's all you would hear. You wouldn't hear anything
you would
else
just
in
hear
the entire arcade.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, the sound package on Jersey Jacks in general are actually pretty good. That they've got like mid-range tweeters and a woofer in the cabinet. Like no other pinball game has that on the market. But coupled with like a decent, like almost studio quality speaker setup in it, this thing would absolutely pump. And I think one of the things you can do if you have it at home is you can put it onto jukebox mode, and it'll just play the songs that are in there like a big glorified iPod, basically.
Yeah.
So it's going to be amazing to play. I hope someone gets it down here in Australia. Like, it'll be the limited edition one, or sorry, I think it's the regular, limited, and then CE. I think we might be lucky enough to see a limited down here somewhere, hopefully, because I would love to get my hands on it.
It was interesting that what they were trying to go for was capturing the concert experience. That's what they wanted it to be. And the designer was saying that he purposely did not look at, touch, or play the Data East version of the game because he didn't want to be influenced by it at all. Didn't want to.
Take any design cues from it.
Exactly. But what I find interesting is that you're still doing the same kind of thing. You're trying to collect all the band members.
Well, it's a music pin, isn't it?
Like, it is. But they said the general idea is, though, you collect all the band members in order to get to the concert, and then you play the concert. But they said no matter how poorly you're playing, you will be able to start a song at some point in your 3 balls, which I
Right.
think is pretty
Okay.
cool.
So that is pretty good. Like there's guarantee, almost like it's a pity song that you
Right?
get to play. Like when you get like the pity extra ball at the end of your 3rd ball because you've done so badly. Um,
And
yeah.
and the really insane thing is that yes, they have the 9-minute version of November Rain in there, and you can play the entire song. And I guess what you're doing while you're playing any one given song, you're building up a jackpot, and that at any time you can cash out that jackpot, and then switch songs. So it's up to you to how long you want to play any one song. Also, from what I understand.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting one to play. Like just the mechanisms in it look great. Like the locking system and one of the, I think it's like the base head, where the ball gets locked and you store the balls there. And
See, I love it. Between
everything, it's
this,
funny though, isn't it? Like
I was gonna say between this and Stranger Things, man, these guys are really starting to push the boundaries
really
of what are
think
capable
outside.
on a pinball machine.
Yep. I was lucky enough to get to play Stranger Things a lot the other night. The one with the Pico projector and the essentially stadium projection onto the playfield, and it doesn't get old. It looks so good, and it makes the game so different to play. But this light package, I don't know. I think putting Stranger Things and this next to each other, have a guess which one's going to win out. It's not going to be Stranger Things, unfortunately, as much as I love it.
I just
This
kind of
is
want to see this with Metallica right next to it, and
and AC/DC. Yeah,
eh,
it makes AC/DC look like an EM,
that's why I wouldn't even
like,
bother putting that one there.
which is fair to say because it was produced in 2010, so it may as well be an EM with the amount of innovations that have happened in pinball in the last 10 years. Like, it's not really a fair comparison, really. But
Well, because
you know,
am I correct in that Aerosmith and Kiss came after Metallica?
Aerosmith certainly did. Metallica,
No, Aerosmith. Didn't that come out after
yeah,
Metallica also?
yeah, it did because it
And
has
yet,
a
I would still put
screen.
Metallica up against this. Oh, you know what I have not seen in person? Iron Maiden. So maybe that would be the one to put right next to it.
It's not that great.
No, really?
No, well, we got the pro version at Netherworld. It's nothing to write home about.
Oh, that's a shame.
Like, yeah, it's got an interesting playfield layout, but visually, it's not awesome.
Okay.
Like, well, I really dislike the game actually, so so it's not one of my favorites to start with, but it's not super interesting.
Well, I keep on wondering when I'm going to see any of these because right now it's not exactly like
Nothing.
you can just travel out there and go play pinball, at least where I'm at. Jared might be able to, but I can't.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to be able to down here. We've just recently got the nod that we can actually stand up, drink beer at pubs, and therefore play pinball machines in pubs. So yeah, we're very fortunate here to be able to do that.